G'day everybody and welcome to the House of Mario South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by a 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host Drew Agnew and the doors to episode 290 are open at the double take on that one as well. Joining me as always is my good friend Josh, or JT if you like. Josh, how you going mate?
Hello Drew, hello everyone. I'm doing alright. Little tired I think from today and the warmer weather. Josh doesn't adjust as well to the heat.
No.
As he is once again reminding himself. I think I'm still recovering from PAX as well. Like it's already been a week, but it's still like decompressing from that weekend.
Yeah, me too. And I totally get it with the weather as well. It hasn't even been that hot. It's been like 27 down here. I don't know what it's been up in Adelaide. But I always refer to myself as a Pokemon with a swift swim ability. You know, you're faster in the rain. And that's definitely me. If I'm at work or whatever, you know, I'm all about that colder weather. But, you know, get a bit of sun out, I just start flopping around. I'm become a useless, sweaty mess. And I think what's worse about it is just like my sweat. It's so salty. And when I go to wipe my face, it like burns my face. And I'd rather just not sweat. I need a job where I just sit there and look at myself in a mirror and contemplate my life decisions. Maybe I won't sweat as much if that was the case.
Desk job, man. That's where it's at.
Yeah. Is that where it's at? Obviously, you've got a desk job. Should I get a desk job? Am I cut out for the desk job lifestyle? I don't know.
I don't know if you are, Drew. Don't know. I think
I
you're being outside to a degree.
I've never had a desk job in my life.
Yeah. It's a big change. Big change. And, but I don't sweat a lot. And if I do, it's because it's too hot in the room and I just put the aircon on and then I don't sweat. And it's pretty easy. So
I like the sound of that. See,
yeah,
I can romanticize the idea of that. Just like, oh, air conditioning there. Oh, got my computer here. Oh, look at my desk. I can set it up how I like. You know, it sounds like the idea sounds lovely. But I don't know. Do I have the skills to, I don't know, check my email and make sure my driver's up to date on my computer? I've got so much to manage, you know, just all the technology, all of the know-how of how to do things. I don't know. How would you feel about it vice versa? If you had like a job, I don't know, being a carpenter or something, been out and about on the floor, you know, got the tools out, you're building a house, you're working with a team. How do you go sort of jump into a job like that but isn't behind a desk?
I don't know if I'm cut out for it, if I'm honest. I kind of sometimes you dream about it in the office, you're stuck there and it's so nice outside. And you're like, oh, it'd be nice to be doing something outside. But then I'm not a handyman. I can't do anything trade-like. And so I'd be absolutely useless. My colleagues would hate me. It just wouldn't end well. And but that doesn't stop me dreaming sometimes of being a nomad or, you know, just travel the world and just be one that doesn't need a job and find things to, you know, live off the land or somehow, something like that. But, that's just when I'm daydreaming, you know. So I don't think so.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. As long as you keep those Excel sheets up to date and I keep my gear nice and sharp, we'll be right. We won't have to worry about the change of lifestyle. But got a lot to talk about this week, Josh, considering that you know most of this year's been a little bit dead. We got Mario Party Jamboree that came out last week. We got that to talk about. We got a massive sort of update on the Nintendo test that went on for Nintendo NSO members. Yes. That sort of came out today. People didn't give a shit about anything they signed.
Right.
Released that straight away, just as I thought, because
no surprise.
This is just normal people. So very keen to talk about that, as well as some more, I guess, Game Freak leaks. Won't go too in depth, but just a lot more has sort of happened throughout the week. A lot more information, a lot more concept art and sprites and betas and all that stuff that I found very interesting. Just scrolling through throughout the week, which has been pretty fun. But this is, I guess, just for me. But I want to know how Josh has been. You know, we spent so much time together last week, Josh. And just cold turkey. You know, no Josh in my life. I'm just want to know how you've been adjusting since PAX. Did you get a PAX flu? Did you get sick? Did you need a few days to get your legs back in order? How did it all go for you over the last week?
Yeah, well, we spent we've been together that Thursday night, and then Monday morning I left first thing. So Yeah, I kind of got home and I had Monday off work, thankfully. So I just like was able to just relax and do nothing for that day. You kind of like that social battery is pretty low by that stage. So just did absolutely nothing, sat on the couch. So that was good. And then the shorter week at work was nice but busy. So I suppose that flew. I haven't got sick yet, but I feel like I've got a little slight sore throat, and Michaela does as well. So I don't know if we've caught something from PAX, or maybe it's something else if it's come this late.
Seems a bit late for PAX, you would think.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, yeah, just it's just been another, after that Monday, it's just been busy. Just things going on. We had a busy weekend seeing family and friends and doing like catch ups and all those little things, helping with gardening for Michaela's dad and things like that. So it's just like, keep going, and it's pretty constant. Been managing to do my running though, a little bit of game, but not as much this week. I've kind of just spent the time that I have had to play a bit of Jamboree, but that's really about it.
Nice. I actually haven't
about you?
touched Jamboree yet. So, and with our with our communication before the show, which was literally nothing, I really did put my eggs in the basket and assumed you did that. You did get that that session in with your mates and play a bit of Jamboree. So I'm glad glad you clarified that, because I'm like, there is a possibility. So actually they got sick and we ended up playing Scrabble or something instead, just Michaela and I. And yeah, I could have set myself up there, but
No,
maybe I didn't.
right.
Maybe I still did. I don't know. Who knows?
No, we played it.
Yeah, but I'm happy I didn't get sick. You saw how many pills and that I was taking
Oh
to
man,
try
You
and
take so
fend it
many.
off. I was taking vitamin C, a couple of echinaceas throughout the day. Just I had like 5, and I had like swallowed them all at once every morning, try and fight off that PAX flu, and did not get it. I did not want to bring it back. I knew I had to be fit and healthy for when I get home. So, yeah, that would be the last thing I need, because the first time I got COVID was from PAX a couple of years ago.
Yes, that's
So
right.
after that, it's yeah, no good. I don't want that again.
No. Sounds like you did pretty well then. I heard a few people coughing and sneezing during PAX, and so like I kept my distance whenever I heard that, like in the crowd. Don't know if that helped much, but it was always like, yeah, I'm just gonna do these extra little things to help me avoid it if I can, and I think probably what helped.
Yeah, there's a couple of years ago where like a cough on the PAX show floor would have been like a gunshot.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yep. Stay
just
away.
run away from it. But now, I can't believe how quickly everything's just gone back to
Back to
sort
normal.
of how it was. But it is what it is. In some ways, it's a good thing, but it would have been nice to learn a lesson from it. Personally, for me, I kind of did learn a lesson. Just always, wash your hands, all of that. Not that I didn't before, but yeah, I'm pretty anal about it in public spaces now. In the city, like
Yeah, I'm big on that.
I'm hyper conscious about it when I'm like in a shopping center or something. It's just like people just sliding their grimy hands across the rail, and
Could be anything.
yeah, could be anything.
Honestly,
They
be
could
anything.
dragging their cheeks across it, both on their face and on their backside. Who knows?
100%. Yep. And yep, that's one habit I've definitely maintained, is that in between things, just cleanliness, and I don't think it hurts. I mean, there can be things being too anal with it, too much going on, but it just it's good to it's a good habit.
Absolutely. All right, let's not beat around the bush anymore. Let's talk about Super Mario Jamboree, Mario Party Jamboree, more or less. Josh, you did play it. What was the play conditions you were playing in? Did you play it by yourself? Did you play with a group of people? How did you go about playing Mario Party?
Yeah, so came out on the Thursday night, and so me and Michaela were able to play a game together that night. She really enjoys battling me now and is very good at Mario Party. I've created a monster, I feel. And so we played against 2 CPUs on hard mode, and we did the Wriggler's board, and did that one. We only about a couple of hours to play a game, and so we selected 10 turns, had to go, and it's fun. It's like, we went into this, hearing about it's going to be the biggest Mario Party ever, like all these modes. And like the worry I had was, okay, maybe there's a lot of stuff, but hopefully it's not like just quantity over quality, and there is some quality still within it all. But that game, that board was really fun. Really enjoyed the dynamic with the Wriggler, and then just the mini games. We selected pro controllers, so we didn't want the motion controls, and so we had a really fun time just playing through the mini games and the extra different things they do, like with the Jamboree, getting a buddy. So that was a cool extra dynamic to the games, making sure that you were the one to do get that buddy, the Jamboree, and that meant all sorts of different bonuses and benefits for you getting it. So that's been really fun. And then Saturday night we had some more people over, so we had 4 of us to do a proper couch co-op session of Mario Party, and did 20 turns. Went for over 3 hours. It's a big slog doing a 20-turn game. I don't remember them being ever that long before. I don't know. Do these games go longer than they used to? I can't remember. Or maybe it's just because I'm older and it feels like it goes for longer. But we did the racetrack one where you're in cars and you've got to do laps around the board. You get more coins the more laps you do. And then there was ways to sort of, you might want to go one way to get items or another way to get something else. And so there's a bit of variation in what you wanted to do. But yeah, I found the mini games to be really solid and fun. I think there was a little bit of overlap with because we played no motion controls. Maybe there's a bit of overlap in the motion control mini games. Maybe there's not as much of a range, but I've only played those 2 board games properly to sort of really look into. So I haven't played enough yet to feel like I need to get a more informed view of it all. But it's been really good so far. So yeah, I've dabbled in some of the other modes like the Capathlon, and there was some other mini games where you used your Joy-Cons to sort of control a ball and get it to an end zone. But I haven't cared as much about that so far.
Yeah, the whole idea of having the Joy-Con mini games seems a little bit frustrating that you can't play in handheld mode or on the Pro Controller. But thank God you do have those options where you can just exclude them. Because otherwise, I could see that being pretty frustrating. Like if you have a Switch Lite and you just want to play like the story mode or something like that, I could see that being pretty frustrating. And that was actually one of the really good things about the last Mario Party game, where it went to the Pro Controller. So in some ways, it seems like a bit of a step back. I feel like if they want to do motion control games, that's fine. But why it has to be a single Joy-Con, I don't really know. They could just use the gyroscope in the actual Pro Controller and try and make games revolve around that, where you can play it in all of the styles of control that the Switch offers. So that's something that just sort of gets me. But who knows? I might play the Joy-Con based games and be like, holy crap, these are so much fun and unique, and they can only be used with the Joy-Con. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get the best of both worlds, because there's over 120 mini games or 110 or something. So there's a lot. So yeah, maybe it was just with the randomness that we got a bit of double up with some of the mini games in the first 2 boards we played. But yeah, I need to play it a bit more. Next one, I think we're keen to play with the motion controls just to see what that's like. There'll be extra mini games that we've never touched before. So just get a bit more of a rounded view on my thoughts.
Do you have any sort of desire to play online or anything like that, or is it this, or are you gonna play with friends for board game nights and things like that?
Definitely to try it out. I want to see how well the online works, especially here in Australia, and just with Nintendo games in general. There, a lot of misses rather than hits. So yeah, keen to see how this works online, especially because some of the mini games are so precise with the timings and things. You want to make sure it's down packed and really good. So. I do think overall, though, it's going to be, those when you got friends over, something to play and enjoy face-to-face. I think that's, definitely the best Nintendo experience for me anyway, and I think a lot of other listeners would agree when you got your friends in the room with you.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. I was thinking it would be a good idea to try and set up a community night or something like that, try and play, because we played a little bit of Mario Party, was it 2 on NSO with us 2 and Jamie? And it was that was good fun.
That was good.
It was you went through the sort of the technical hurdle of trying to mirror the image to the other players and all of that, but for the most part it worked. So I could see a ground up Mario Party work quite well, because honestly I haven't really played much of the other 2. Was it Super Mario Party? I remember I bought the game. Bryce and I played around before we recorded an episode, just to just get real quick thoughts type of thing. And I still remember just like we played against the CPU. It was Wario, and he just sucked. He barely moved. He did nothing, but he got all the bonus stars and won. We're like, yeah, right. That's classic Mario Party. Down to the bone. So, and I don't think I played the second one at all on Switch. Like honestly, not at all. Yeah, it's just so I don't know. I just when I play video games, I don't tend to get them out, and when it's multiplayer things, I think we just must have played other things rather than Mario Party.
Yep.
But yeah, I would like to give this one a go. Both of us did receive the game from Nintendo Australia, so thank you very much.
Yes, thank you all.
And honestly, like I mentioned it before, but yeah, if I didn't receive a code, I don't think I would have picked this up. I hadn't seen any of the trailers apart from like the initial reveal at like the Nintendo Direct. But there were some things that got my attention, and I am excited to give them a go. Much like the 40-player mode, I think that'd be interesting. I'd like to give that a go. And hearing others talk about the game as well, here like there's a pro mode you can play as well, where like the bonus star, what the conditions are before you start the game. So whether it's the most coins or the most spaces moved, you've actually got something to aim towards for the bonus star. And the variables aren't as high. So that sounds kind of interesting if you want to. If you're up against some elite gamers and you want to all right, no. Look, listen, boys, I am the best Mario Party player out there. You can do that, I guess. Yeah, that's certainly not me. In some ways, I might actually need the randomness to get out on top.
Yeah, brings a bit of fun, doesn't it? A bit of surprise. Yeah,
that's right. Like us gamers who like love our multiplayer Nintendo stuff, you can look at Mario Kart and like, look, I'm really good at Mario Kart, but sometimes you get unlucky. And then Smash Brothers, you can make it real technical, or you can make it just complete bullshit. But Mario Party is one of those things that, look, it's got to stay a party. It's not Mario Olympics. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. That's a very serious game. Those boys were really competing with each other. This isn't that game. This is just a fun party.
Yeah, and for me, it's the random stuff that's the funnest. There were moments Saturday night where I was coming dead last. Nothing was working my way, and then Michaela, not really thinking about who was coming first or second, just wanted to give me something, and so gave me a custom dice that could only roll up to 1 to 3. So I had my Jamboree buddy with me. I rolled a 2, and I had landed on a Bowser spot, and the next 2 spots were both Bowser spots. So I was more than likely going to land on a Bowser spot from this situation that she created. And so went down there and lost a star, and then lost coins, and it was just like I was down, but that was like I was coming last anyway. But it was like really like, okay, this is just absolutely like kicking somebody while they're completely down and out, and it was pretty funny overall. I could see the funny side to it. Just moments like that. Chance Sum's back in this game, and that created chaos as well. So, I'm keen to see Pro, but I think you might miss some of the those fun, completely random, stupid moments that you do get from the normal board game.
Yeah, it's going to be the type of thing like at work, somebody's like annoying you or something. You're like, wait a second, we're gonna settle this. Yeah, settle this in the game of Mario Party. Get the Switch out, put it into tabletop mode. Joy-Cons each person. All right.
Yeah, just play for 2 hours at work. Yep.
Yeah. You got a pro mode like, whoa. All right, he's not fucking around. This is time to get my gamer face on. So yeah, absolutely.
So keen to check it out more.
Yeah, I am too. I've had a bit of a sort of a busy weekend, I guess. We had it sort of filled in, and had another game that I was playing through when I got a little bit of spare time. So that sort of got my attention rather than playing single player Mario Party by myself. Yep. But I have been hearing a little bit about the story mode. I'm like, it sounds fun enough just to have a go and experience the mini games, which I might give it a bit of a go this week, depending on how things go. But yeah, it's just one of those things that's hard to draw me to without like a group of people. Then even online, got to organise it, and I've never been dedicated enough to get all that, organise a party online. You know all about that. we got the Endless Ocean going, but two more people into the mix. That's what makes it tricky, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know there's a few people in the Discord keen, so yeah, maybe sometime this weekend or next. My weekends these days are always hard to sort of pin down time, but we'll find a time. I'd love to try even Capathlon if we get a whole bunch of people in on that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that will be. Yeah, just got to organise 40 or however many people. Do like a private server.
Yeah.
Powerful on.
Definitely.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to touch on the game before we move on to some other stuff?
Yeah, there is a lot, and so the reviews are saying it's like the best Mario Party of all time. So a lot of people are really hyping it up. So I'm just keen to try it out more fully. So did have a episode lined up for Nintambania, but that fell through, and it's probably for the best because we'll just this weekend talk properly about Mario Party Super Jamboree. And have some more thoughts and share it on House of Mario next week as well.
Yeah, that sounds good. Anything else you've been playing apart from entertaining your friends with your Nintendo Switch system?
Played a bit more of Echoes. I need to I want to keep moving that along, but not a lot. It's been pretty it was got back from PAX and spent a lot of time with Michaela and didn't do a lot of gaming and just and then since Thursday it's been Mario Party when I've had time. So that's about it really.
I've got to be honest. I think I'm going to shelve Echoes of Wisdom for now. And I didn't think I would do that, but
wow,
yeah,
interesting.
I'm just not drawn to play it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's nothing on the game. I think it's just where I am at the moment, just with work and things. Just at night times I'm just tired, so I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do it for since it came out, all right, sort of force myself to do a bit, and I'm just not feeling it, but I end up not playing anything at all, even like smaller, more simpler stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'll shelve it for now, and in a month or so where things lighten up a little bit, I'll probably play it and enjoy it a lot more. There's no point forcing myself into it now just to get it done. It's a Zelda game. I won't see another one for at least a couple of years.
Yes.
That'll be very soon, I think.
Yep.
For like a traditional Zelda game, we'll say like a spin-off or something. I think I said last week or the week before or whatever that it's like a new Hyrule Warriors next year seems like a good little gap filler for Zelda for a new system launch year.
Yep.
So, we'll probably see stuff like that, I would imagine. But yeah, no point forcing myself through Echoes of Wisdom. I've been really enjoying it. I'm only up to like the third dungeon. Like I'm really not far through it at all, but I'll get to it before the end of the year. I was sort of forcing myself as well because I kind of put the pressure on myself a little bit too. I had 49 games beaten, and I set myself up for Zelda to be the 50th. So I'm like, all right, it's going to be the 50th, but I'm like, all right, just don't worry about that. It can be the 50 something.
Yes,
I'll play it down the line. But I guess that's a good segue into what I have been playing. I've been playing Never, which came out last week on the 15th, and this is by the same development team as Gris, which is just like a stunning hand-drawn, I don't know if you call it watercolors or whatever, but it's one of the most beautiful 2D games I've ever seen in my life. And I played through it last year, Gris, and it was really good. It was just really good, and I was quite excited to play another game from the same team. And you might recognize this from a Nintendo Direct where you play as this woman and she's got a wolf companion, and at the trailer shows basically the opening cutscene where the mother wolf basically gets killed, and you're playing with the cub, and you play throughout the game, and the cub's growing up alongside you, and the game has like a lot of heartfelt moments, a beautiful soundtrack, and it's just it really was like a really tremendous game, really great game. And the way it ended, it made a lot of people cry. But I saw people talking about it. It didn't make me cry. Didn't get a cry out of me, and I think that might be because the situation I played it in was like when I finished the game. That's just like when Chantel and the kids just got home. So I was like watching the end cutscene with a lot of stuff going on. So
Yeah.
maybe I was distracted in
Not
a,
quite
in a
in the
good
moment. Yeah.
yeah, in a good way there. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a great game. There are some like I would love to like discuss this game with somebody who played it, just because like I think how they set up the story at the start and at the end, a little bit confusing, and it was like I actually went to Reddit where people were talking about it, and a lot of people were confused and sort of had to like point certain things out, what certain things meant, because there's no dialogue or anything in the game. It's all up for interpretation and all that. And I completely love that. But yeah, there's something about the start and at the end which is like, oh, well, it means this. But oh, no, it doesn't mean that at all. It's just because that's how it was presented. It's kind of hard to go into without actually
Okay.
when you know yourself and other people who haven't played the game have no context. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to talk about it with somebody who's played it.
Mm.
So yeah, the sort of the ending for that reason as well didn't hit as hard because I thought it meant a certain thing. It's like, oh no, that's not it. It's just that's just how they weirdly put things together, which made it seem like that, but it wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's rated really well. So hopefully there's a few other people who've played it that you know, and you can talk to them soon. 'Cause it does sound really good.
Yeah, it was great. It's I played it on PlayStation, got the platinum trophy for it, got all the collectibles, did all the things you need to do. So that was good fun as well. Beat the game. I don't really know how long it took me. It's like a 4 hour game, but when I paused it when the kids needed me or whatever, and I just let it sit there. So my PlayStation clock says like 7 hours, or it says 7 hours sometimes. It says 9 hours sometimes. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't make its mind up. But yeah, I left it on just like the pause screen for a fair bit. So I'm not sure if that was counted or not. But yeah, definitely an easy recommendation for me. It was a lot of fun to go through. A lot of people cried. I didn't. But yeah, some really heartwarming moments, which I quite liked. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's all I've been playing after PAX. Just played through that.
Yep.
Got a big list, which I've still got to get to, but who knows? Who knows
How
if
big?
I get to them.
What you got 2 months? Are you trying to get to 60 games by the end of the year? What's your goal here?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think I expanded it, roughly to 60. It's kind of like, all right, I've beaten the goal. Let's try and. It's almost like trying to set a PB. Like, all right, let's see how far I can go. But yeah, I'm not too fussed now. I'm pretty content. There's a lot of stuff that I want to play, like Life is Strange at the end of the month. That's 100% want to play. Mario and Luigi next month. Horizon, Lego. I'm looking forward to getting into that. Call of Duty. Looking forward to playing that later this week. So there's a bunch of stuff which I'm excited for and I want to play. Even like Romancing Saga 2, the remake. I don't know if you remember that from the Nintendo Direct when that was announced.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to pick that up as well. I think that looks really good, actually. So I'll probably pick that up. Do I have time for it? Don't know. Don't think so. I got Metaphor at PAX as well as like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So, yeah. We'll see what I can do.
We'll see.
As long as I'm having fun, Josh.
That's right. That is always the main thing.
As long as I'm having fun. Yeah, I was gonna bring the list. Okay. You said like, do you have a list? I do have a list. I have a list of the stuff I want to get to. In my notes here, literally, how many? So this is a list. This isn't all the stuff I need to play, but this is like stuff that I've like either bought or just let go, and I've put it onto the list just to see if I can get back to it. So this is what it is so far. It's another Code Recollection. So the Splatoon 3 side order, which I could probably get rid of. I'm not going back to Splatoon 3. Sorry, Wacko Jacko. As you can see from, as you'll hear from this list, you'll see why I probably don't mind scrapping it. Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. It's too long a game. I probably won't get back to it this year. A game called Until Then, which is, look it up. It's really cool. Looks cool. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. I'll probably get back to this. I've done half the game. 1000 X Resist. I'd like to get back to that, or get to it in general. Persona 3 Reload, SteamWorld Heist 2, Creatures of Ava, Dungeons of Hinterberg, Summer House, Visions of Mana, The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, Max Mustard, Silent Hill 2, Metaphor Refantasio, and I've got Super Mario, Super Mario Party Jamboree there as well. But yeah, that's not something I have to play through. I can just do a little bit of a multi-player session or something like that. So yeah, I've got a few more on there too, but we'll leave it at that. So yeah, got a decent little list.
Big list.
Big list. Yeah. Do you have a list?
For end of the year?
Oh, just stuff you're anticipating for the rest of the year, or stuff you'd like to get to before December 31st.
Yeah, definitely Echoes. And then Brothership in a couple of weeks. I want to play as much Jamboree as I can. I don't know if finishing it is what I count it as. I know there's a story mode which helps with that. They're the main things, and whatever. Banjo-Tooie comes out this week on NSO, so I'm keen to check that out and play that for the first time. Never touched that one before, so honestly, I think that's plenty for me out of everything else. Even the F-Zero NSO drops the other day. I was playing them. I did play them a little this week. I did lie what I had been playing earlier on. So I got those little things. I'm very content with all that. So I think that's plenty for me for the rest of this year anyway.
Yeah, that's fair enough. With Banjo-Tooie, how's your fan of Banjo-Kazooie? Are you a big Banjo-Kazooie person? Did you play it as a kid? Like for me, Banjo-Kazooie's always has been something I missed, but Bryce is so into Banjo-Kazooie. He's always telling me about it, and I've always meant to go and play it, and I've started it a couple of times, but sort of fell off of it. Where's your banjo love fall?
I really like it. I didn't play it properly growing up because we borrowed a friend's game version of it, and we weren't allowed to start our own new game, so we could only do things in their files and not start from scratch. So I never got to properly play it until it came to NSO. But when I did, I played it and thought, this is I'm really glad I get this chance now to properly play it, experience it. When 3D platforming was king, and that's was all the rage, and so that was very cool to play. And so I've been patiently waiting for Tooie to come, because I'm like, this first one's come to NSO now, surely the Tooie comes, and 3 years after the service of N64 games coming to NSO, we finally got it. So very keen to play it and get some new memories with it.
So I've got to play the first one, but I'll move on to the second one, but I'll move on to the third one when Microsoft makes it.
Well, Nuts and Bolts is the third one, Drew.
Yeah, the people
I did play that a lot growing up.
Oh, yeah. I remember watching Bryce play it, and it's it looked fun. I think
it was fun. It was fun. It's not the game we wanted, but it was fun.
Yeah. It's not the game you wanted, but it's the game you got, and there was literally nothing since.
Yep. And there won't be.
Did you see the comments that have been circulating about Aaron Greenberg, head of marketing or whatever over at Xbox? He said something about people don't care about Banjo-Kazooie. I think somebody at a panel at some event basically said, must have said Banjo-Kazooie, and he, whatever the context of the panel was, he's like, look, nobody cares about Banjo-Kazooie. Probably a bit of a joke type of thing, someone's yelling it at him. It's like, look, no, as far as Halo and Gears and Call of Duty and all of these massive IP they have now, it's probably true, but it seems like the biggest miss.
What it could have been, if they actually gave it some love and built something up over the years. Could have been
Nintendo's brand is so strong, and it's been built up over these just wonderful IP that have just a lot of us have grown up with, and Microsoft, through the acquisition of Rare, they got one. They got Banjo-Kazooie.
Yep.
And all they had to do was continue it on.
That's all they had to do. Keep making some games every 5 years.
Yeah, it's truly baffling that they didn't. And seeing just the excitement of Banjo and Kazooie in Smash Brothers, and the excitement around the games on NSO coming back to Nintendo, it seems like such a missed opportunity by them, just not to utilize it.
Yep.
Is it going to be as big as Halo or Call of Duty or Diablo or just these mega franchises that they acquired with Activision and Bethesda. Look, no, definitely not. But it seems like a no brainer to me. But
Yeah, no, I agree.
especially with a studio and a good budget, I don't know. Yeah, don't know. But
Could have been so much more.
yeah, I mean, the people in charge of Xbox know exactly what they're doing. They've been doing a great job this year. It's been fantastic to own an Xbox this year. Yeah, great. No sarcasm there. Yeah. All right, let's talk about this Nintendo online test. People got access to it today, and straight away people leaked it. And I'm excited that they did. I was sort of anticipating. I was checking Twitter a little bit today, seeing if anybody leaked it. And the first time I saw it was on a Wario64 post, basically a post from Wario saying, "Look, it's available now. We don't know what it is." And somebody like immediately underneath said, "I hope Nintendo doesn't kill me or something."
Yes. Yeah, and they leaked
And it was just it was just right
screenshots.
there. And it seems to be like a massively multiplayer game online working together, and you're building a world and you're doing it a little bit at a time, and you're all putting your creations together to make one big world, which very interesting concept. And it seems like I guess a very Nintendo way of doing it, as well as you can see why they need to stress test, because this is something that's it's just like a massive thing for Nintendo to sort of get working in some ways. It is interesting that they opted to all right, we're going to put it out to select people and we're going to try and keep it secret. I think that's the weirdest thing about it.
Oh yeah, and expecting it to stay secret.
Yeah, I kind of think I think the approach to this would have been all right, we're doing this game. It's in early access. You can opt in. There's a process to be selected. We're going to be opening it to select people and sort of roll it out from there. The idea of being able to try and keep it secret in 2024 is just ridiculous. It was never going to happen. But I'll read through sort of what's on the website. But just before I do that, just off the top of your head, Josh, just what's your thoughts on this? Is it something you're interested in? Something that you think looks cool? Something that you expected? What was your thoughts when you first saw this?
Yeah, so obviously people went crazy when this was first announced in terms of what it could be. People were talking about GameCube and other sort of potential things that could happen in NSO. And so I don't know if many people thought this, but I think some tested for sure. That's, obviously online testing. So getting a whole bunch of people together and testing some features out in this sort of MMO-like kind of world-building game's pretty cool. And, it's... You reckon it's definitely a new game, or they're just testing features? It must be a new game, just with all the different things they've created and this lore and features. It's I'm kind of interested and really want to see a bit more. And thank you to the person who leaked it and shared some screenshots, because this is very different to what Nintendo's done in the past. They've never done anything like this before, so this is them getting a bit more used to the internet and playing with others online. So it's great to see. I'm watching back with great interest from a distance.
Yeah, I do wonder, just before we get into all the details, which isn't too much, it's just very light on a web page before people click into it and I guess opt into not sharing any of that. I don't know, or probably afterwards. I would assume you probably do it afterwards. But it looks it's not carrying on anything from Nintendo IP, so it's got its own look. It's I don't really know how to explain it. It's very toy-like in some parts and all that. I do wonder, is that just a generic sort of look to then make it into a, say, Mario game or a Nintendo all-encompassing IP where it's this big Nintendo toy box and make a whole Nintendo universe type of thing? Or is this what it is going to be? It is going to be a massive scaled garage. What was that garage builder game called? Something Garage.
Game Builder Garage, I think.
Yeah, Game Builder Garage. Is it just going to be a massive version of that with it its own toy aesthetic or its own aesthetic? I don't know. Yeah, are they doing that to try and keep it a little bit of a secret still? If it was just you open it up and it was oh my god, this is every Nintendo IP. You can use parts from everything. It's Minecraft, but all Nintendo on a world scale. Oh shit, that's a it's pretty big, but maybe they're keeping it a little bit smaller for the beta. I'm not quite sure, but I guess my probably hunch is that it is going to be its own unique thing, that they aren't going to rely on their other IP. But who knows? Just something I sort of thought about when I first saw it. But jumping into it, this is what it says on the website. If you were lucky enough to be selected, I'm going to read this off my phone. And yes, I am a little bit tired, so hopefully I will be able to read this coherently. But this is just what it says on the website to give us a little bit of an idea. And if you have anything to say, Josh, just let me know, and we'll talk about that certain dot point as we go along. But quote, the website, about the Nintendo Switch Online Playtest Program. With Nintendo Switch Online Playtest Program, we aim to test the boundaries of mass multiplayer functionality and gameplay on our servers. Things to keep in mind with interacting with others: respect other players in all instances, play according to the rules written in the terms of service, conditions, etc. Do not give your personal information to anyone. Carefully consider the data you share. If you discover any problems or issues, use the report feature to report them. The game's purpose. In this game, the goal is to work with others to fully develop a massive, expansive planet by utilizing creativity and farmed resources. As you progress across the planet, you'll discover new lands, enemies, and resources that will become essential to your journey. How to develop. Through your adventure, players will be granted special tools known as beacons. These beacons emit a healing light that purifies and develops the land. The higher your beacon is placed, the wider its zone becomes. Within your beacon zone, your best work can be done. Players will repeat the process until their current planetary block is considered fully developed. And I guess just jumping off that point, it seems like, a lot of the sort of way you're able to build is by using these beacons. You get beacons from, seems like playing the game. That's sort of like the reward, the loop, I guess, getting beacons. So you're able to use them and do creations within these, I guess, walls of some, it looks like a bit of a dome in some ways, like the screenshots I'm looking at the moment. Have you seen the screenshots? Have you had a look?
I have. I got to see a few before they got taken down off Twitter.
I've saved it to my my phone here. Like I saved them. Put that on the phone before it gets disappeared. So that seems interesting. About the beacon zone. Trying to zoom around here. The beacons players will receive will be the most valuable tool. You are the master of your beacon zone. Only you can move, lift, or edit items within your beacon's light. Just as others cannot edit things within your beacon zone, you cannot edit things in somebody else's beacon zone. Places outside of your beacon zone are public areas that anybody can work in. In public areas, anyone can pick up things, place them, and edit them. To protect your builds and precious items, you'll want to store them inside your beacon zone for safekeeping. So just like put up a beacon, so stay out. It's mine. Mm-hmm. Kids at the playground, it's like, you want to go on the swing, just put up the beacon, and it's all yours. Next up is the dev core. The dev core is a separate space from the planet you'll be developing. Think of it as a social hub to gather other players. At the dev core, you can level up your character, get items you need for your journey. It says communicate with others and more. It was cut off on my screen. Then that leveling up your character. About dev points. Any time players make progress in developing the planet with the beacon light, they'll earn dev points. Players can use dev points in the dev core to raise their development level. By increasing your development level with these points, you can obtain convenient items for further development activities. Then there's Connex points. Players can earn Connex points by interacting with other players in a variety of ways. Players can use Connex points in the dev core to raise their connection level. By increasing your connection level, players will have access to fun community-related items. What all these things are, I really don't know. This is all it says.
Yep. It's
yeah, you go.
like, yeah, they're really like, this is world building. Like, you play this everyday kind of thing, I feel, with a game, and you're gonna, help create these communities and have your friends join you for different things and do things together. It's going to be, if this turns out to be a real thing, a very collaborative kind of experience that, yeah, they've never done this before. So yeah, just very, very keen to see what the official announcement is. And, this mustn't be too far away, or maybe this is very early on. I don't know. For the Switch too.
Yeah, it's definitely early. Yeah, that's for sure. I'm just looking through the other features. There's just one other one I probably want to point out, that there's Development Positioning System, and they abbreviate it to DPS. Every player is equipped with a special skill known as the Development Positioning System, or DPS. This allows players to see a wide variety of details, including development status of the planet and other positions of players. And it's got like a map. You can see like a big map of like, you can see like, certain locations, people, all of this. It's all just on like this big grid map, which you can see, which looks kind of interesting. And the other stuff is just like if you lose your beacons and some other stuff, we don't really have to go over here. But I don't know, Josh. So it's interesting that we got to know that it is like basically a brand new game Nintendo's testing. We don't know the nature of it. We don't know whether it's going to look like it is. Don't know if it's going to take on another IP. Going to be free on Nintendo Switch Online. It's going to be something to entice you to sign up to it. This relation with Switch 2, Switch Current, just there's a lot of questions which we will need answered. And as people actually play it and just sign themselves up for a lawsuit from Nintendo, we'll get to find out more, hopefully. But I don't know. For me, it seems like Minecraft, but sort of on a global scale, where you're sort of working together. You're not just in your own little unique server, building away with your friends or like some forum members. It is very much just like, all right, we're all working together. You're doing your own stuff, and you're able to put together this planet with like a lot of social tools as well. You're like leveling up your own social ranks, and there's items and stuff you can do together. It seems very interesting just from that. But as far as my taste in games go, it doesn't excite me too much. I'm not really looking for like a big multiplayer game. Obviously, when the time comes, I will give it a go. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, it certainly doesn't get me like super riled up. It's just interesting from like somebody who covers Nintendo point of view rather than like the gamer Drew point of view. But how are you feeling about it?
Oh, I'm just excited to hear more. And so baffling, this whole process of the play test and how it's come to be, how they made people pretty much sign NDAs and told them not to share stuff, and thinking that's definitely not going to work, and it's come out straight away. So, yeah, you're totally right. This could be totally been given a different lick of paint, and it could be like an IP put over the top. Wasn't the Giga leak last week talking about a Pokemon MMO? So like stuff from this could be learnt and applied to if this is a different game, to that game, or if it could be the same game. We don't know yet. So, yeah, it raises a lot more questions than it does answers.
Yeah.
But I'm keen to see Nintendo's take on the MMO side, if that's the route that this is heading.
It makes me think too. Like I brought up the whole thing of like, are they, is this going to be like a game, or is it going to be like utilize another IP to sort of bolster it a bit? But this could be purely just dev tools, just a game that is just designed purely for a test. To test their systems and to test their players. Like,
yeah, maybe.
How far can their network go? Like, it might be for that. Like, just like a global game that everybody's doing it together, and it is purely just to push their servers to see what it is. It might turn out to be nothing. That could be it as well.
Yep.
Just to see how many people at once they can handle all together, which is a possibility as well. They might not be planning to do an MMO. They might not be planning to do any of this, and that's why they might want to keep it on the download, the hush. Because I brought up like, why don't they do a beta or something? But if it's not going to be a product, they are purely doing it just to get players onto the network. That might be why. Because maybe they don't want to create all this excitement. They're like, hey, look, we need a way to do it, but we're not going to just like, all right, everybody jump into like a big Smash Brothers map or something stupid. It might be that too. So might be getting excited over nothing. But once again, it is just just interesting to see.
Oh, for sure, definitely. And there'll be more fallout. And Nintendo, are they going to chase after these people who leaked? There's or they're just going to leave it. It's probably not worth it. But just all this stuff is very interesting.
Yeah, because when it comes to like reviewers or content creators or whatever, like we don't have to sign anything. You and I, we typically get games on day one if we get a code, which is very good. We very much appreciate that. But if we got it early, we would have to sign things. We'd have to be like, all right, you can't talk about this in your review. You have to, sign the papers here. Don't talk about it before the embargo, all of that. And, typically like content creators, work well for that because like if you don't do that, you won't get access anymore. It's a pretty scratch your back, you scratch mine situation. But when it is just like somebody random who's like, I like playing my Nintendo Switch. If you sign up to this and you get in, like, all right, don't you say anything. It's like, oh yeah, I won't say anything.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
It's like, what are you gonna do to like Joe Blow? Like, you're not gonna.
No.
You're not gonna do anything.
Yeah, that's right. You're not gonna suck the money out of him. You can ban him from the Nintendo Switch, and that's about it.
Just ban their account. Yeah, it's just like But I think Nintendo like money too much. Like, do we keep taking this person's money for the rest of their life? Or the rest of the time they're playing video games, or do we just let this one go?
Yeah, that's it.
Let it go. Keep leaking stuff.
Let it go.
Speaking of leaking stuff, Josh, we talked about the Game Freak leaks last week. We just went over like 5 things. This one it basically just started over the last week. Been following an X account called Centro Leaks. Every Pokemon game they're usually covering leaks because every Pokemon game seems to leak these days.
Yes.
Especially in the era of the Switch where people get to it early because the hacking scene is rather robust on Nintendo Switch. But a lot more has come out about the Game Freak leaks. I don't want to go over like all of it. I would actually love to do like a podcast, like really breaking it down and talking about Pokemon and about like, what's been discovered, but won't do it here. But a lot of interesting stuff's come out. Like we saw like a lot more like concept art from all of the games coming out, which has been fascinating. Like concept art from like Ruby and Sapphire and all of that, like stuff from like, some of the childhood games, which, we all love, like just seeing like storyboarding stuff, which is fascinating. There's been like HD artwork from X and Y come out, which, we never had before, but now you can set it as your wallpaper in HD. I guess. So there's just stuff like that. But a lot of like the beta designs for basically the generations from Ruby and Sapphire and onwards. Like it's been really interesting to see, especially as someone like, Ruby and Sapphire, first Pokemon games, love them, my favorite Pokemon games. And seeing like some Pokemon in the beta forms has been really, really interesting. And in the earlier sort of stages that these Pokemon have been drawn, they look a lot similar to the sprites in Gold and Silver on the Game Boy Color, which has been really cool. Like, it's amazing how they actually just seen like the little snippet of development of like Ruby and Sapphire, how it went from like, like a little bit better looking version of Gold and Silver to like, to what the sprites actually become. Like it became like a massive step up from those Game Boy Color games. So seeing that was really cool. A lot of that stuff. And was an actual build of Pokemon ZA came out as well, which apparently the person has played through, and but they are not putting any information out about it.
Yes,
and,
which is very smart to do because that would be very bad for them.
Yeah, no way. Like you've I dare say Nintendo's very upset. Pokemon Company's very upset. You put out like
an unreleased game.
No, that unreleased game, that's
the worst thing you could do.
Yeah,
releasing the source code for Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black and White 2. That's not the end of the world, is it? That's stuff that's already sold their millions of copies, and you're not really going to get much else out of that. But that Legend ZA is the person is smart enough to know not to do that, even though they've done the hack in the first place, and they're going to get the wrath of Nintendo, aren't they? In some shape or form.
Yeah, no, it's it'll be scary stuff. Like there's like a PC build of Legends Arceus on there. Like obviously, Game Freak, they'll be testing, they'll be building the game, they'll be playing through it on PC just to make sure it all works. Just as far as developing the game, you're not going to be like playing it on Switch, obviously. But yeah, that's interesting. That like that's out in the wild. People have access to that, and
Yeah.
just like the fact that the source code and all that. Yeah, it's it sucks how it got out there. Like I do not, how it got out there just is wrong. It's been stolen, but it was interesting just to have a look through some of the concept art and stuff. I wish Game Freak would just do a book, just do a book of it, like just like the making of Generation 1, just the process of how they refine the Pokemon, some Pokemon that never made it to the games. That'd just be all fascinating stuff. It's kind of a shame that we have to someone has to commit digital terrorism on this poor company for us to say it. And
God,
we're just
there's
all right,
so many cool unreleased Pokemon though. Like what the Mudkip Pokemon that replaced Mudkip initially. Sorry, that was there instead of Mudkip. I just so cool and random. Just I don't know. These Pokemon could have been so close to coming into the game, but obviously decisions were made and they got swapped out. But there's a whole catalog of these Pokemon that aren't Pokemon because they haven't been released officially that do exist but don't really.
Yeah, I think one of my favorites was to see him. It's kind of like a nice confirmation. I think Did You Know Gaming or whatever, they covered the stuff that we knew before that was missing from the Pokemon games or whatever. And it was interesting to see even back then that originally Blaziken, the evolution from Torchic, one of the starters, was basically a cross between Latios and Blaziken. It was Blaziken with wings.
Yeah.
And he flew around and in these leaks, you can see on the sprite sheets, that Pokemon was in the game. It was designed how it was, Blaziken with wings, and it kind of looks like he took the wings off, and that Pokemon kind of became what Latios and Latias became later as well, which was really cool. And even seeing different sprites of Latios and Latias, how they had the same sprites as each other. They looked identical, but they were just red and blue as well. So you can see the changes. It was just a snapshot in time that we've never seen. We were just seeing the final product, but seeing this was really cool. And I'm just on there now, just so much. What's this? It's even 16 hours ago. What's this? A debug near final version of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl for PC has leaked online. Also, the early prototype for LPA, Legends Arceus for PC has been cracked and is now playable. This is not good news for Nintendo.
No, massive.
It's kind of cool for us. It's kind of cool for people who like to tinker around and all that. Yeah, don't know. It's just all kind of fascinating stuff. And there's a video super early concept for Legends Arceus when the developers must have been all right, will this concept work? And it's you're actually playing as Brock, the model for the actual the concept was Brock, and he's running around throwing Pokeballs and stuff. It was just pretty cool. And there was another one with there was a Lady Gaga song, and it was Pokemon X and Y. I think it was one of the gym leaders. They just had it as before they put the music in, they just had that in there.
Yeah,
which is just just random stuff like that. You're finding out
the character sheets, who they want it based off real life people. There's some characters, but Beyonce's their inspiration, and just see these one pager characters on a page, inspirations, things like that. The whole legendary tree, how they're all related and connected. Pretty interesting. The Typhlosion stuff's disturbing. It's just there's details everywhere that are so much to look at.
Yeah, no, I should try and round all this stuff up before it gets erased from the internet, and go over it a little bit because a lot of cool stuff. So if you're into just Pokemon facts and stuff, it's pretty cool. Just seeing this company's dirty laundry just aired out. Apparently, I didn't talk about last week because I didn't know, but apparently it was one of the staff members must have basically clicked on a link they shouldn't have.
Yeah, phishing.
Yeah, the phishing. Yeah, that's right. And they they got in. So I think some of their information's on a few documents and stuff like that. I haven't seen any of that. I have got no interest. I really do not want to see that stuff. But yeah, so that side of it just absolutely sucks. Like it's just
obviously, yeah, and the personal
awful
details of the employees as well coming out. That's obviously a very bad part of this. Yeah, not leak, but stolen information that's now available on the internet. So, yeah, they're gonna have to up their game. We get training at bank at our work to not click suspicious emails and links and things like that. So, same principle applies here, I'm sure.
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder what they sent. Like, was it something that was pretty obvious? Was it like having just a down day? Just, he was about to go out for lunch, and they got him with like a good donut deal.
Yeah.
So, bloody two for $1. That's not bad. I'll got that. I've only been gotten once with like a scam, and
okay.
it was really dumb.
Yep.
It was really silly. I'm usually pretty like switched on, but I was looking for a pair of headphones, and I got an ad on Facebook. I'm like, oh, cool, and I bought it. And then I'm like, wait a second. And I looked into it, and I'm like, okay, this was a scam. This was definitely a scam. Didn't take too long afterwards. So yeah, that was a silly moment on my behalf. But have you ever been gotten, Josh?
I don't think so. No. I don't tend to trust Facebook, Twitter ads and things. I'll just like search it on Amazon or a platform I know.
Yeah. This was a fair while ago. This might have been like 2014 or something.
Yeah, this was early on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fairly vigilant, but it doesn't take much with some emails. They're very smart, sophisticated these days.
Yeah,
you do have to be careful.
I remember the good old days when like the scammers, they'd ring up and say, "Hey, we're ringing up to fix your computer." I'm like, I had so much fun just trolling them. It was so much fun. But then now it's just like, oh, we're going to ring you 20 times a day on your phone, and we're going to hang up straight away because we're just like a automated bot that's going to try and record your hello.
Get so many of them.
And then we'll just use that to cause mischief and stuff. It's so frustrating. Like,
annoying.
I guess they won in the end, didn't they? I had my fun trolling them because they'd be like, all right, turn on your computer. I'm like, oh, all right, yep, you better fix it. Yeah, I don't want it broken. I'll just go along with it, and I'll be like, oh, so how do I turn it on? Like, I haven't used it much within the last 12 months. But they're like, all right, is there an on button? Like, oh, I don't know. What does it look like? And I just go on forever. Then eventually I'm like, oh, sorry, this is a Mac. It wasn't a Mac. I didn't have a Mac at the time. And the person on the other side of the phone, he just started to abuse me. He's like, you fucking, F this, F that, calling me. He said something about my mum, like, not the, just saying like, this your mum, that your mum. Like, Jesus Christ. I just picked you at the end of the day, 5 o'clock. He's like, all right, I'll try one more phone call, and that was me, and that was just enough to send him over the edge.
Yeah, just too much. He deserves it because they shouldn't be doing that. That's naughty stuff. Bad people.
Yeah, they are bad people. Bad people. Bad people who did it to Game Freak. But I think if Game Freak learned anything from this, it's just to do an art book of your concept art. That'd be nice. I'll buy that. I'll buy it.
Make some extra money doing that.
Yeah, do concept art of like every generation. It'd be really interesting. Different sprites, missing Pokemon.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I get the idea though that they don't want you to know Pokemon that could have existed but don't exist. I think they feel pretty strongly about that. Being like, if you like one, or they seem to bank ideas as well. Like a lot of Pokemon that missed a certain generation appear in another generation. They get banked in some ways. So I guess like certain ideas they might have had from 20 years ago, they might literally be in the bank being refined for like the next Pokemon games. Because I think like infamously Shellos that was in Diamond and Pearl, it was a Pokemon that was meant to be in Ruby and Sapphire.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how people know that, whether it was in the source code or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but remember that was a Did You Know Gaming video, something like that. Yep. So yeah, there's certain Pokemon that they use later on. So I think that's why they don't show us this type of stuff.
I mean, yeah, just in case they'll use something again, and that makes sense. But stuff that's 8 generations ago now. Come on,
yeah,
just show us.
Or they because they'll probably have to if you release them like in a concept art book, like, hey, look, this is unused Pokemon from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. You probably have to trademark them because then like
Yeah, maybe.
Because like Power World or whatever, like make them, like, they'll just take it.
Yeah, true.
All these like these Pokemon inspired RPGs on like the eShop and stuff like Koromon and all of this, where it's like, yeah, that looks kind of cool. I'll put something very close to that in my game. So it probably is actually a lot of work on their behalf. Like, look, let's just keep it a secret, keep it in the vaults. Not even the vaults are safe.
We'll lock it securely. No one will ever look at these ever.
No.
One phishing email later, and then it's just 1 terabyte. There must be so much more. You know, like all the back catalogs, the warehousing of information and sketches and drawings and everything. Just be so much more. You just got a little taste.
I think so. Like a terabyte these days. Like for example, this hard drive I've got here, which I just keep my silly little videos on. That's a terabyte.
Yeah,
terabyte isn't very much anymore. But I guess it happened to be the right place, the right hard drive, which just had all their source code and their very sensitive information, the builds of their new games and all this stuff. Couldn't have been the other hard drive where they just kept the movies for the lunchroom. just gets into the local network where they keep like a few Disney Pixar movies on, where the staff go and eat their ramen at lunch or whatever.
Yeah, nothing like that. The person got some good stuff.
Yeah, they got the good stuff.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah. Well, is what it is.
Mm.
Yeah, it is a weird feeling because in some ways I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Just like, oh wow, that looks great. Oh wow, that's very interesting. It's like, quite a terrible thing happened to him. I was like, oh, I feel really bad for that.
Oh, they'd be freaking out.
It's kind of a weird emotion that I'm feeling. I was kind of like, am I bad for like looking at this? It's like, no, it's out there. It's news. It's, it happened, but
it's out
and
now.
It's
you
not,
can't stop it.
Yeah.
You're not
It's
looking
not
at
personal
info, are you? You're not looking at the employee stuff. You're just looking at the Pokemon stuff.
I'm just searching for the guy's driver's license. I'm like, yep, there he is. Next time I go to Japan, I'm like, how you going? Do you still have your job at Game Freak? Would you get fired pretty quick?
God. Yeah.
What do you do in a situation like that, Josh? Do you keep them around, or you be like, look, that was a big fuck up?
Depends how reckless they were. If they really did get tricked, or they were pretty careless and just clicking stuff.
Yeah,
does depend.
Yeah, because if it was like, oh look, I thought it was like a Zoom link for a meeting with the producer of like the game I'm working on. It's like, yeah, fair enough. But if not,
yeah, man. Correct. Something will go down one way or another.
So yeah, all right. That brings us to the end of that. I just want to bring up something at the end of the show, Josh. But anything you'd like to touch on before we get to that?
No. All yours.
All right. So I just want to touch on this. I don't usually bring up rubbish that I see on Twitter. But I've seen like a lot of sort of a lot of flack put towards the, I guess, studio owner and director of the game. What's it called? Played it earlier this year. It's getting late, Josh. I'm forgetting. Kanzera's out. Yeah, that's right. So
yes.
Played it earlier this year. Absolutely loved it. One of my favorite games this year. In my top 10 somewhere. Couldn't tell you exactly where it's numbered, but an absolutely fantastic game that goes over, just really interesting African culture based around like a black family and the loss of, the main protagonist's father and how he's dealing with it and how he eventually like deals with grief over the time of the game. It's just a really great game, super fun. I couldn't put it down. Got all the trophies in it. Absolutely loved it. But I'm sort of saying that, the studio owner, got to try and, how do you pronounce his name? Abu Bakr. I'm really bad with names, but been saying that like since the game came out, he's been like, I guess the victim of like targeted harassment because there's like a massive like DEI campaign where like a lot of people, I don't know if you've seen much of this, just within like, I guess the the gaming communities, or whatever. But a lot of people are sort of fed up with like forced inclusivity and a bunch of stuff. Like I guess a lot of like left wing politicians or whatever want to put into video games or whatever. A lot of
the wokeness.
Yeah, a lot of wokeness being put into games, or whatever. Like, look, I want nothing to do with those types of conversations, but I am absolutely fed up just with like hearing about like a lot of this, I guess, stuff in video games. Are there some good points out there? Like, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's some games with good examples, but ruining the game because I guess the message of whatever they're trying to put out there is just more important than the game itself. I don't know. But in the case of this game, where it is very much this game has been targeted for, I guess it's wokeness or whatever, it's just absolutely crazy to me. I watched some of, I'm not going to name the content creator or the content creators that are mainly in charge of this, but it's just absolutely disgusting from what I'm seeing. And I just want to bring it up just to be like, I think it's very important to, get behind the things that we love. A lot of people sort of opt for the easy route when it comes to whether it's making content or whatever it is they in their life, where a lot of content creators, they're able to easily get people's attention by, making them angry, get behind a cause. And, you can see a lot of YouTube channels where it is just like, oh, look at this, this game's woke because they put this in their character creator, or this game's woke because it's got black people in it. And it's getting to the point now where like even Kinsera Zhao, where it is just like a game around black people based on the culture, tells a really great story that's it's relevant to any family in the world. It's not like it's only made for black people or whatever. Me here in South Australia really deeply connected with the game, and I thought it was great sort of seeing that side of the culture was absolutely fantastic. And the idea that this studio has been targeted just for, being woke, whatever. It just makes no sense to me. So I think it's just important to sort of get out there and, get behind things that you really like, and don't give attention to these people that are just trying to make money off being arseholes. It's just, I don't know. It's just absolutely disgusting because, it just, especially like a game like this where it is really good. And there are people out there who like sit behind their cameras, sit behind their keyboards, and they just like haven't done anything worthwhile in their life. They run a YouTube channel that just makes people miserable. They might make a check out of it, but in the process, they're rallying people around a cause that's negatively affecting our hobby, which is gaming, as well as like dragging down people who are motivated, creative, making an effort to actually do good things in the world. Whether it works out or not, that's up to your interpretation, whether you like the game or other games that are trying to do similar things. But I think in this case, like, he's made a fantastic game as well. One that's fun. It's a great Metroidvania. It's not too big. It's not bloated. It's just like a really nice game to play over a week or a weekend. And it's just very, very frustrating to see. Like, I can ignore a lot of this stuff on Twitter. Like, a lot of it's just like, a lot of it was like Xbox versus PlayStation fanboys, and I think that's died down just because Xbox is just kind of thrown in the towel, so there's not really much to get behind. But a lot of the conversation seemed about like these DEI games, which is, I turn my head a lot of the time whenever I hear that. But yeah, this one in particular was frustrating because it's one of my favorite games of the year. It really is. They've done just a tremendous job with the game, and just the fact that it's like being targeted because like, so what's so woke about it? Because it's got black people in it. It's made by a black man, and I assume a lot of black people on the team that's telling a personal story, and it's just like a fantastic Metroidvania game. Anyway, I don't know where this conversation is leading, because I think much like social politics at the moment, it's all very fever pitch because of the election. Josh, you very much know that, I assume, following politics as closely as you do. And, that's just seeped into video games as well, I assume. But yeah, it's getting to the point where it's ridiculous. Like, like I mentioned, that there are some topics that are sort of important to bring up. Like, there's crazy people on the right, there's crazy people on the left, and the games industry being very left leaning, especially like in some places in the States where a lot of these things in video games maybe don't resonate with a lot of traditional people that play video games, just more centrists or even people on the right. Like, there are conversations to have when it comes to what you're including in video games and the messages and all this stuff. Video games are nuanced, they're art. You can have the conversations about them. You can disagree, you can agree. But with this game in particular, it's just like, it just seems like racism, which is really sad to see, especially when you saw him at the Game Awards last year, sort of announce the game and discuss why it meant so much to him, and the fact that it's their first game and he got the studio off the ground to make it in the first place, because it was like a bit of really a passion project for him. It seems so sad to be at the center of a controversy where it really doesn't need to be. So yeah, like I said, I just want to put that out there because I want to be I want to highlight things that I really like, and obviously here on the show we talk about things that we don't like or we don't agree with, but it's always from like a place of love at the end of the day. But yeah, these people are just from a place of hate and a place of just looking for clicks or enraging people. It's such a negative thing for our hobby. Like a lot of people, are addicted to their phones, addicted to social media. So a lot of people see this and engage with it, and it's just, it sucks. So
for sure.
So
there's so many games out there, so many other different experiences. So I've got nothing against these types of games being made, these types of voices being heard, and us being given the opportunity to learn about it. So, I don't know. There's just, if it annoys you to play, there's so many other things to play and, keep your mind occupied.
That's the worst thing about these types of content creators, though. I don't think they play games. I think they spend their time complaining about them, dragging the creators down, talking about how they'll do it better. But I truly don't think they're like, oh, look, my day of being a miserable fuck's over and just putting 5 videos out, just talking about other content creators I don't like, creators I don't like. I don't think what they do in their free time is like, oh, look, I really love this game and turn it on and play it. They don't strike me as that. Like, their whole sort of mantra is just dragging other people down and not bringing any insightful criticism, but insightful anything to any of the conversations they bring. They barely talk about games in the first place. So the idea of actually dragging down somebody else who actually really goes out of their way to shift their life to try and make them, it's it's crazy. So if like I said, just try and highlight things that you like, and don't get sucked into the drama. And I don't know if I got sucked into drama bringing it up here, but yeah, it's just like one of my favorite games this year, man. It's just like, it was a really good game. I finished it. It was great. Loved my time with it. And then I heard about the controversy like afterwards. I'm like, the fuck is controversy about this game? Like, there's nothing controversial about this game at all. Not even a little bit.
No.
In fact, it was quite nice just having a different theme, if anything. Like, the culture and everything is just like a nice thematical difference to other Metroidvanias, if anything. So yeah. Anyway,
that's refreshing, and it looks fun. It looks fun. I will get to this one day. Shame it came out so soon after Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. So I felt it kind of got a little bit sidelined to compare to that game. But looks really great, and you're definitely right about content creators. If there's a negative headline, they'll chase it and get the views, because that's where it comes from.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy too, because another reason I wanted to bring it up was just purely because people are actually quite looking for that type of content as well, which is kind of scary. I did a video, and it wasn't meant to have a negative connotation. It was just called The Downfall of Modern Video Game Journalism. And I'm somebody who quite enjoy. I like reading video game journalists' work and all of this. And the video, my message was basically like, it's going to be a bad thing if we lose video game journalists purely because where are we going to get our news from? We're going to get it from the YouTubers? Of course we're not, because the YouTubers get their news from the video game journalists. I can make a news video, but I'm not out there talking to people getting the news.
No.
So that's just what it is. But a lot of people in the comments were like, "Oh, look, I can't trust them. They suck." You know, just like I got a lot of comments in that video, basically just like people saying I couldn't give a shit. I hate them. And there's people just like, there's certain groups where people just want to see their heads on the end of a stick, and it seems like there's sort of a growing trend of I don't know quite what it is, whether people are just sick of maybe wokeness in media or whatever have you. I hate the word woke. I never use it, but just in the terms of I guess this conversation, it's kind of like I'm not quite sure what's sort of making it erupt so much. But I guess it's just like the election and everything's coming to a boiling point. Wherever in the next couple of years it will die down again, I don't know.
Yep.
But just enjoy the things you like and be vocal about that. That's all we can do. That's what I try and do. And
good message.
Yeah. Anyway, Josh, with that, that's the end of the House of Mario episode 290. It's great having you on, as always.
Likewise.
Where can they find you on X, Twitter, all that stuff, YouTube, and of course Nintendvania? Where can they find it, Josh?
Yes, all that. Yes. Sorry there was no episode this weekend. Had a guest fall through, but we'll be back this coming week.
Son of a bitch! Who was it? I'll go and complain to him.
I'm not a snitch. I'm not gonna do that. But it means more time to play Jamboree, and we'll have a proper analysis and review of that next episode. But always a good time, Drew. I always enjoy coming on here with you.
I'm glad, because if you didn't, I don't know why you're doing it.
Yeah.
The pay's not very good.
No.
Just a smile. I'll just give you a smile. You give me a smile. It's a nice reciprocal relationship we got here.
Definitely.
But until next time, guys, thank you very much for joining us. But it's time to get out of here. Doors are closed. Catch you later.